Good morning. It is Saturday, April 9th. Welcome to My Left Ear. I am Carrie Freeman, and as I always like to say, I'm the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. If you haven't been here before, this is a democratic, liberal, progressive leaning YouTube channel where I do political and psychic commentary and a few inspiring goodies at the end. So welcome. Now, who am I? I have been doing this YouTube channel for a year and a half, and along with that, I do private coaching sessions, clinical hypnotherapy for therapeutic purposes, and I do psychic coaching. And there is an email down below in the description, and you can email me and ask me for my cheat sheet, okay? Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. And here we go. This morning, I posted a picture in the community section, which you may or may not have already seen. I just put it up. And it is a beautiful picture of the train station in eastern Ukraine that got bombed. But this picture is in its perfect, beautiful state. I did not post pictures of the devastation because I won't do that on this channel. So I just want to take a moment and honor those people. You know, they were just trying to get out of Ukraine. President Zelensky had said to certain areas, and I don't know which ones they were, leave, evacuate. So that's what they were doing. This train station is in the city of, I'm gonna try to pronounce it, Kramatorsk in eastern Ukraine. These poor people. And it goes on and on. Anyway, I just wanted to start by mentioning this, and I don't know if you read or heard that they found the remnants of a missile that had some Russian writing on it, and believe it or not, what was written on it was "for the children." So, you know, I don't have to tell anybody how grotesque this is now, and it's all at the hands of Putin. When I get to the end here a little bit, before I get to the good stuff, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. Now, to a high note, to progress, I want to say congratulations to Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first Black female member of the Supreme Court. It's groundbreaking, and she triumphed, I mean really triumphed, over the extreme abuse during her confirmation hearings. I mean really abhorrent behavior, but she really was prepared for it. I think I said this 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whatever, and she just maintained her cool. I mean, it was a master class in keeping your cool and your neutrality. Man, she really did it. And I want to say congratulations to Joe Biden, who made a promise to do this, to get the first Black female on SCOTUS, and he picked a stupendous human being. And I really loved that yesterday Joe Biden gave the GOP a big what for. He told them off about the disgusting abuse of this SCOTUS. He told them off. And he told them how horrible they were. It was politics at its ugliest. But here's kind of what was happening. The GOP that were awful to her, it wasn't every single person, but it was a lot of them. They were painting a gross picture of her and of anyone who voted or votes for her as promoting pedophilia. And they also, Marjorie Taylor Greene specifically, called out Mitt Romney, Senator Collins, and Murkowski about promoting pedophilia. So, nobody's off the books, even if it was GOP that voted for her. Now, it's a tactic to mischaracterize, to create fear and win votes. I repeat, win votes. So they were auditioning for their bases. Look at me. I'll fight QAnon. I'll fight pedophiles. Look how tough I am. But I'll tell you what's interesting to me. Matt Gaetz is facing charges of sex trafficking, of diddling around with underage girls, and that is who Marjorie Taylor Greene is best friends with. Like, really, she's best friends with Matt Gaetz. Go figure. The DOJ is beginning to show up visibly. Now, might have been showing up internally, and I think they were, but visibly. And I was so glad that my runes kind of came true. I mean, every time I read the runes, I just never got a big negative. But it has been slow and it's been painful. That I will admit. But DOJ seems to be heating up. And I wonder, and I don't know, if the huge pressure and criticism, I'll tell you, it was all over Twitter, kind of got him moving. We'll never know. The important thing is that the department got moving, hired a lot of extra attorneys, and here's the progress. The DOJ is now going to scrutinize, this just came out, the legislative branch regarding January 6th. Oh boy. And then the committee voted to recommend Scavino for not showing up for his subpoena. And Scavino was one of the big helpers, organizers, and he's so dumb. He appeared on Ari Melber and just told everything. Oh yeah, we did that, and there are 100 legislators that helped us. And Ari Melber said, if you won't show up for the committee, why are you telling all of this? Isn't that a coup? Aren't you talking about a coup? And Dan Scavino, or I don't know if it's Dan Scavino, Scavino said, no. He really acted kind of nuts. So also, brand new, the DOJ is investigating the planners and organizers, which we have been waiting for, who helped, who spoke, who were, stop the steal, said outrageous things, planned behind the scenes. But there is a guy named Ali Alexander who they were looking for a long, long time. I don't know where they found him, but he's alive, Stop the Steal organizer, okay? And they've got him. And Ali Alexander is going to flip. He's going to name names. He's going to name names of legislators who coordinated and organized together from the Senate and Congress. Of course, their reason was to make Pence delay the count. And I'm hoping this will be televised. Oh my goodness, good TV. So, I accumulated some names, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty for entertainment purposes only. But these are the names I assembled, and there might be more, and you could write me and say, you missed so-and-so. Mo Brooks, Paul Gosar, and I'm just gonna stop for a minute on Paul Gosar. I don't know if you know this, but his entire family, everybody in his family has shunned him. They think he's like the most awful person on the planet, which he's one of them. But the day before the insurrection, oh no, it was the morning of the insurrection, 1/6, he tweeted, Paul Gosar tweeted, "Victory or death." He did. So here are the names. Mo Brooks, Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, Mark Meadows, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tommy Tuberville, Louis Gohmert, Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, Madison Cawthorn, and more, and then Scavino. So that's something to look forward to. DOJ is going to step in where it's really difficult for the January 6th committee to call their colleagues. And I do find that awkward. I do find that a little dangerous that they would call their colleagues in. I think they should be able to, personally, but I think it will open up. So if the DOJ steps in, that's really a good thing. I think you can disagree with me. You can always disagree with me. Oh, here I did. I blew up my font again. Has to happen every show, right? Has to happen. Come on, baby. Come on, or else I'm going to have to tell a joke. Okay, no joke. And just a little reminder, pretty accurate, pretty sure that the report of Lauren Boebert giving tours on January 5th are accurate. That's going to catch up with her. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was at the planning meeting at the White House on January 5th. More's coming. And then, there is the question, who was that person walking around with the arm swing, allegedly planting that bomb? We all have an idea about that. Okay, now, this is really cool. A judge in Georgia is looking at the legality and the credibility of Marjorie Taylor Greene being able to run again for office. He may start an investigation, or I don't know what the word is actually, evaluating whether legally she has a right to run against. And she would be running against a really cool guy, Democrat, named Marcus Flowers. So you could look up Marcus Flowers. I'm hoping he wins. So I did runes. I didn't do a lot of runes today, but I did runes on, will Marjorie Taylor Greene be allowed to run for office? Be allowed to run for office. So here we have it. The first rune I pulled was the rune of movement. Okay? And the movement here is movement by the judge to move forward. That is my interpretation of movement, not her movement, the judge's moving it forward. Okay, got that? Then I pulled initiation reversed. Actually, I think it's this way, reversed. Initiation. And initiation is interesting. In the reverse position, it says the old ways have ended, Margie. Cannot repeat the old ways, Margie. This is a test of character, Marge. Don't you always think of Marge Simpson? I do. Or a lack thereof of character. And it is about renewal of the spirit is called for here. But my left ear says she will fail. She will not have a renewal of her spirit, and she will not heed. She is unable. There's something wrong with her, okay? It would take a team of doctors to diagnose. I have a few ideas, but there's something wrong with her. And then the last rune in the little story is flow, which sounds good. But here it is. Unseen powers are operating. It is a time of cleansing, realigning, revaluing. It is her time for a cleansing, realigning, revaluing. And it bodes a happy ending, but not a happy ending for her. it's a happy ending for the Democrats in Congress. She will be replaced. She won't be allowed to run again. This is what I believe this reading was about, okay? She certainly doesn't deserve, we could do a whole show on her, but I hate to spend time on her. She's really not worth it. Now, I'm moving on to the district attorney in New York. Bragg is his name, B-R-A-G-G. There's some funny business with him. Glenn Kirshner is talking about it, like, what's something smelly? So I put out the question to the runes, is he lying? Because ideally, he was supposed to take over the criminal investigation and indictment of Donald Trump in New York. Because there's a civil trial and there was a criminal. And these two very esteemed attorneys resigned and wrote an angry letter. And they basically said, Bragg is shutting this down. And they quit. So really something's going on here. So is he a crook? What is he hiding? So it's just really interesting. The first rune I pulled was unknowable. This rune has no, it's just blank. It's unknowable. It represents both the beginning of something and the end of something, and it can portend a death. Not necessarily a physical death, but a metaphorical death. I think that could be Bragg's position. And also the blank rune, it represents the path of karma. And my left ear thinks it's his karma. Okay, now we got the journey. All right. So the journey is concerned with something that has two sides, which is interesting because unknowable, in a way, has two sides, right? He's supposed to address something that has two sides. The situation with Trump and the criminal, and he really hasn't said anything. He's been talking like a little double talk, he just like he's trying to wiggle out of something. So once again, the known and the unknown. But here's the final rune. Love it. At the end of the story, it is disruption. Tells the story. Oh yeah, there's going to be disruption because the rune says expect disruption. And I wrote, expect disruption, Mr. Bragg. This is the great awakener. This rune could rip away the fabric of what you previously knew. It's akin to the term radical discontinuity. My left ear thinks is going to be replaced. The governor of New York is working on this. Okay. I did something simple this week because I thought maybe there's one person out there who really doesn't really know the term genocide and what it actually means. All I did was copy it, and I'm going to read it to you. The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. It is a campaign of genocide. That's what's going on right now, a campaign of genocide. And it couldn't be more horrific. Now, the USA and other countries, and I think Finland, are continuing to send equipment, weapons, Javelin missiles. That's good. Now I'm going to talk for a second about the Russian, I'm calling the Russian propagandist brainwashing, because that's what it is. It's very typical, known brainwashing. Remove all areas of information for the Russian people and just pound them with lies, blatant, horrible lies. And I saw this beautiful young Ukrainian woman in Ukraine talking that her parents are Russian and they're in Russia, and they have talked, but they believe Putin. They believe the Ukrainians are bad, doing bad things, and they believe Putin over their daughter. Now, as of this morning, it even gets worse. I read that people are reporting each other in Russia. Even like if they're in a restaurant and they overhear people talking, commiserating about Ukraine, sympathizing, people will report them. Germany did this. So, it's difficult stuff, right? Taking a deep breath. Oh, I do have a little announcement. I have to set it up. I'm going to email him in a few minutes, but I did speak to Milu, and I am going to be on his show, and probably in about a week. So I'm going to email him with the dates, and we'll pick a date, and you'll find out about it. I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. I'm not sure how it came about. I have a feeling one of my faithful subscribers kind of said something about me to him. I really don't know. But then somebody wrote and said, Milu's looking for you. I'm like, he is? All right. So that's cool. And I'm really excited about that. Good evidence. I have like a really neat good evidence story. Sometimes I have more than others. Here we go, Trader Joe's again. But I went to Trader Joe's, got a couple of things, and it was like 98 degrees. And I come out the front door and I head to my car, but there's a woman with like the clipboard standing there. Ma'am, are you a registered voter? Are you a registered voter? And I like scooted by her. I got to my car and my left ear went, are you really gonna do that? Are you really gonna walk by this young woman who's standing in 97-degree heat and like pretend that she's not asking, are you registered? You gotta go back. So I put my stuff in the car and I went back. And she said, she saw me walking towards her and she said, you came back. And I said, yeah, I came back because that was not the right thing to do. What do you have going here? So she was taking names, addresses, because she was she was working for hospital workers to make better minimum wage, not nurses, not the medical, but the janitorial and the cafeteria and all these other people. And I went, great. And I signed it all for her. She was very young and she was so pretty. She looked like the actress, and I hope I don't mispronounce, Lupita Nyong'o, who's made a breakout in 12 Years a Slave, and then has been just completely gorgeous. Well, this girl really looked like her, just kind of mesmerizing, couldn't take my names. So I don't know, we got to talking, and I think I said something to her like, if I could give you any advice in your life, it would be trust your intuition. And that drew her in, and we got to talking, and I think I mentioned, I'm an intuitive, I'm a psychic, blah, blah, blah. She goes, you are? I have about 100 questions for you. I said, well, I don't have time for 100 questions. And I said, I have a YouTube channel, and she looked it up, and she goes, one question. And she said, should I break up with him? Should I take him back? And I went, oh man. I said, we just met. I think the fact that you're asking me this question means you need to be very careful about this decision to go, back with him. And we talked for a few minutes, and I said, here comes I said, I know a lot because I'm a lot older than you. So we just had a lovely, and I started to walk away, and I stopped. And I turned around to her and I said, was he cheating on you? She says, yeah. I said, okay, listen, this is not a good sign. It's possible he did it once and it won't happen again. What did he say? Well, he said he was immature and he had this horrible father. And I said, well, that may be true, but he could do it again and again. It's not a good sign. So I want to go back to trust your intuition. So anyway, I did help her. And I said, you know, you are a beautiful young woman and you have an incredible future, because I saw that for her. She told me she was getting paid for those signatures. She said, but I used to do this on a volunteer basis. I couldn't even believe I got this job for something that I would do for free. It's a great exchange. I made a difference. I made a difference. It just felt really good. And I just stopped. Is he cheating? And I just knew. All right. So the other cool thing, because many of you have read my book is still available. You can click on, I've got the link in down below on order Carrie's book, or I've got the link in the community section. And people did order, and I've gotten fantastic reviews from you, but I'm still selling. I want you to know that. But at any rate, I talked on the phone with an old friend of mine, very old friend of mine, like that I met when I first moved to California, and we were actors together. And out of this acting class, which was, the teacher was a man named Gordon Hunt, and Gordon's daughter, Helen Hunt, became pretty famous. It was a great acting class. And one guy really became successful out of this acting class. And he's like, hit his stride. And we talk on the phone. We're very, very friendly. And the other day, I was telling him about this screenwriter who heard about my book and said, please send it to me. And then there was a pause on the other end of the line, and he goes, Carrie, send me 2 of these books. 2 of my best friends run studios. I'm gonna give them, both of them, your book. So that was another piece of good evidence. Now, this is just a little story about all this stuff hitting home. I went down to do my laundry, big laundry room here, and there was a tall young man in there, and he spoke to me, and he had an accent. Very friendly, very nice. I hadn't seen him in the building. And I said, did you just move in? He goes, well, I'm helping so-and-so upstairs and blah, blah. And I said, what is your accent? I don't recognize it. And he said, I'm Russian. I went, really? Have you been here for a while? And he goes, 6 weeks. I got out of Moscow right before the invasion. I was like, you did? Where's your family? And he said, well, my sister is in Kyiv and she's about to deliver a baby and we can't get in touch with her. But he knows that she's alive. So I left that laundry room and I thought, this madness came that close to home in my laundry room. A man from Moscow. He had beautiful English, by the way. So I don't know why. There's no happy ending to this. I hope I run into him, find out if his sister is okay, if she did deliver. They can't get out of Kyiv. There we go. But I do have quotes. I have quotes on honesty. And I chose honesty because of the incredible brainwashing propaganda thing that the Russians are doing right now. So I found a few very, very short quotes. This is by Thomas Jefferson. He said, honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom, Thomas Jefferson. This is a Yiddish proverb. A half-truth is a whole lie. A half-truth is a whole lie. And this is by a man named Robert Brault, and I don't know who that is, but I liked it. He said, every lie is 2 lies. The lie we tell others and the lie we tell ourselves to justify it. How true, Robert. And the last one is William Shakespeare from the play All's Well That Ends Well. And the line is, no legacy is so rich as honesty. So that's one for the history books, right? All the people who are on the correct side are good for the history books because that's their legacy. Oh, there's one more. It skipped a page. When you tell a lie, you steal someone's right to the truth. And this is by the author of The Kite Runner. So there you go, my friends. I'll see you soon. Make peace, make memories, and let's just hold the light, okay? Let's just hold the light. If you can make a contribution to a good organization for the Ukraine, then do it, even if it's $5. Or if it's $5 or $10 for a Democratic candidate facing a Republican candidate. We do what we can. Kindness on the streets. Okay, people. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. You know what I was doing? I was pushing my cursor thinking I could turn off my phone. So I think I need some coffee. Bye-bye.